All right, because I
So
I do got to
let
pop
me,
off here at 6, so I
yeah,
apologize.
yeah, yeah. So let me know whenever you got to pop off. But just kind of want to lay it out to you, and I told Austin this when he was talking about Stephen Miller and all those kind of guys. I was like, I'll give people credit when they were due, like even Republicans and conservatives like you and me. Um, I told Dawson, I was like, dude, you were right about Stephen Miller. I was like, he's gonna come in, he's gonna do this, this, and this, and it's gonna fucking change shit. And dude, when that town hall happened and Rich McCormick was standing up there, he was about an hour and a half. I stayed for about an hour and then listened to the other 30 minutes online. Dude, they were fucking hammering him. And about Doge, Elon, Trump, budgets, cuts, all this other kind of stuff. And I could tell, I was like, holy shit, like, not that they were getting under his skin or anything, but it's like you could kind of tell that, like, oh, like they are, you know, there's definitely like some, not resentment, but there's some people that are getting all
Something, yeah,
pissy with him.
yeah,
And, and it's really not even towards him. And that was kind of my biggest thing was it's like he didn't do anything. Like he literally has not done anything yet, but I'm like they're bitching at him because he's not bitching at other people. And I'm sitting here and I'm like Josh, like I was like, "Oh my God, Josh is right." Like these Republicans are nervous for this upcoming session. They are
dude,
fucking
fucking nuts, dude,
nervous. And
dude.
I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm like, "Holy shit." I'm like if he was in a +or -5 district, I'm like he would be shitting his pants right now.
Oh,
Um
oh,
he's like +10, but it's one of those where I was like
glad you got
I
to see
like
it,
fucking scared, man.
dude. I'm glad you got to see it, dude. I mean, that is where they're at right now. Um,
Yeah.
it's fucking nuts, though. That's crazy, dude. How big was the town hall?
Dude, there's like almost 200 to 300 people. There was so they had one room
You got
that I
two to
think
three hundred
fits.
people for a town hall,
Yeah, dude. They had about a
dude.
hundred people in
I'm
there.
so used to like small town halls that are like
Oh,
less than.
oh, dude, this isn't even Atlanta. This is like the northern area of Atlanta. And I've been to his town halls and he gets a good bit of people there. Um, but there's some other people that it's not like super big or anything like that. Um, but I've been to some where there's like 50 people or so. But I mean, there were so many people that um there were so many people that in their main room where they do the city hall stuff, they had to kick people out because of the fire marshal. They had to move them into the overflow room, and then they basically like if you're not seated, you gotta go downstairs. And so I ended up being down in the atrium of the Roswell City Hall with probably about another 20, 30 other people watching um just watching the town hall that's going on upstairs, and there were still people outside the building that they wouldn't even allow in because they were at capacity. And I was like, holy shit. I was like if he like did if this was like 1960s or 50s, like Jesus, like they could have lynched him, they could have done something like if they really did not like him. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because most of the people there were pissed off. Like there's probably about 10 to 20% of people who were like pro McCormick. And there's probably another 10 to 20 who were probably pro McCormick, but they're pretty pissed off about what's going on. And then the rest of them were like Democrats, independents, people who just did not like what was going on. And I'm sitting here and
Oh,
I'm like, holy shit, like 2026 might be a fucking show for some of these guys.
it's gonna be a big show.
Hmm. So yeah, I just like I said, I was like, oh my God, like Josh is right. Josh is 100% like on this shit right now.
I'm pretty good when it comes to figuring out the big ticket things that are going to be problems that are don't look like problems right now, but will
Yeah.
be. I got that hindsight, uh, extra. But dude, it's going to be a fucking catastrophe. And the thing is, there's really no issue for Trump with that because it's like he's done in 2 years when 26 gets here.
Yeah. He's done. That's why he's like, hey, let's get it all done. But it's like McCormick and Burchett, not really, but some of these other guys who they got to stay around. Like I said, those swing district people. I'm like, if I was what's the Speaker of the House's name? It's like the most basic ass name. Uh, Whatever his name is. Like if I was him, I'd be like, holy shit, we're not gonna get the House next year. Like you're down three and all these people are pissed off. Like that's probably not gonna happen.
Oh, 100%.
So yeah, I was just seeing that um and like I've always kind of said I was like like some of the stuff that these people are asking, like I said, a lot of the stuff was Doge, um getting rid of people in Medicare and Medicaid and all that kind of shit. I was like, I don't really know, like why. Like I'm like, look, okay, you pissed off that people got fired, or are you pissed off that like you know too many people got fired or it's too quick? You know what I mean? And I was like, what's your beef? Like what's the issue here? And I don't think anyone really had a clear idea. I think they were just kind of getting all upset about it. But dude, it was like running in the newspapers and everything like that. Like they were out for blood. Um,
100%.
do you think that do you think something like that would happen in Tennessee districts or some of these other places?
State reps, yes, dude. I mean, there's state reps right now that are going to be in some primary situations come 26.
With what?
Um, just just I mean, they'll have opponents. It's going to be like we'll see a lot of opponents rise to the political ranks trying to get elected.
So
It'll be
you don't think it's like for Tennessee, like school choice and stuff like that, right?
I mean, school choice passed. We're gonna see what it does. I mean, I'm sure there's people that'll try to run on that issue, but it's kind of I think what'll be the biggest things is like, just anything that Trump does or says, you'll see people that are trying to like piggyback off the Trump train with it. So they'll
Yeah.
try to jump in and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm here to like, enact uh Tennessee to be." Yeah, what's funny to me too is like this is where I see it happening too is like this Republican Women's Club and like they're not even like the main Republican Party in like Johnson City, Washington County. They're like the loser group, but like they're still in air quotes Republican, and they're like we want to be the Washington County GOP Doge, and I'm like, oh dude, y'all are just piggybacks, dude. Like,
Right. So it's almost just kind of like, so I guess that's one thing that, like, I guess school choice is obviously one, but has really state politics become so nationalized to the point where it's like that. It's like, hey, if Donald Trump's not doing good, if he's not looking hot from now till 2026, that he could kind of get burned. Or what do you think? Or
no,
like
I
not
mean,
he get burned, but like state reps. I'm not
see,
saying
the thing with state reps right now is I don't think enough time has passed to if you're a Republican, if you do not vote or agree with Donald Trump on like a Republican issue or a political policy or something, I don't think you can do that right now. Like maybe in 26, like you said, if he's not doing too hot, then it's like you don't have to agree with everything. But as of right now, if you're a Republican and you're like, oh yeah, no, he's wrong on this, that's not a good look right now.
so you say you've got a knack for kind of seeing what's coming down the pipe. What exactly do you think um what exactly do you think are going to be some of those issues that people are going to hit them with? Or hit any
Like,
congressman or even state reps with?
like
Like
what do you mean?
what do you think is like going to come down the pipe in the next year or maybe
Um,
year and a half that people are going to be like, "Yep, there it is." Like that's the issue that I'm going to run on and is going to do some damage.
Rains Act, the statewide property tax ban. Um, uh,
What about federally?
federally speaking, it'll be all tax cut stuff for the first 2 years here.
You think so? So when
Yeah,
you say tax cuts, do you mean like
like the Jobs Act that he's doing.
yeah, so but I mean, are you saying that's going to be more like you're giving too much money to the wealthy people or you're not helping us out enough? Like which way do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, it's gonna be more like like hey, we want to we want to take away the power of unelected bureaucrats, like putting regulations on things, and elect good representatives that can vote on this stuff, and then that'll be kind of where that is.
Okay.
It'll be like a anti good old boy system.
Really. So, that kind of makes me think about some other races that are going to be happening. Um, I'm just thinking in the state of Tennessee because I know you're obviously in that. And you always talk about how Marsha Blackburn's going to potentially run for governor, and you think Burchett's going to leave, and you think all this other kind of switching up is going to happen. So would you say that if you were kind of an outsider, would you almost kind of say that that'd be kind of the strategy to go against? Is almost like this whole good old boy
Yeah, I mean
system?
that'd be a great strategy to go with it. I mean we're going to see Marsha Blackburn be the next governor here in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting because I think she appoints Jacobs to Senate. Um, so you'll have Senator Kane, which is badass.
Yeah.
But now I will say that'll be a shit show too. Is figuring out who all's going to try to get that Senate appointment. Who all kisses ass to Marsha, seeing if they can get it.
So, I'm just looking at it. I just so happened to pull up the Wikipedia for Tennessee governor just because I was interested in some other stuff. But so, like, right now it's saying John Rose from Tennessee sixth.
He's running, yeah.
Yeah, so like he's declared, and then it's like Marsha, Tim, and then Diana. But it says like, oh, she won't run if
Now I don't know.
Blackburn runs.
Has Marsha declared yet? I don't know if she's declared.
No, those are just people that are like publicly expressed interest.
Yeah,
Um,
Harshbarger's expressed interest, but
so on here it says that she wouldn't run if Blackburn runs.
no,
Um,
she's gonna try to vie for the Senate spot.
but oh, you think Diana?
She's gonna
Or
try to get the appointment. They're gonna try to be friendly with Marsha, hoping that she'll appoint her to Senate.
see that's just so interesting to me that like the Senate position is kind of like what's up for grabs.
Bro, dude, the Senate position's where the real fucking power is, dude. Because if you go in there and you're younger, like if you were to get like, let's say you're 50 years old, if you get the Senate seat, dude, it's 6 year terms. You're there
Hmm.
until you either get beat or retire. I mean,
Well, and if you hit it right, you contend like so like for example, I think Joe Manchin was one where it's like he came in 2018, and then like what was that before? That would have been what 2012. When Obama won, so he's kind of like they're kind of like running on people's coattails, and so it's almost like, hey, depending on when you come in, like 2024 would have been the most competitive race for him because it's also like Trump would have won, right? And so then that would have affected him.
right.
Um, but it's just interesting that that's the one that like people are that's the one that's up for grabs. Like I said, like that's or not up for grabs, but that's yeah, I mean that's the one that's up for grabs, and um, you have all these other people wanting to run for governor. That's just like I'd be like, hey Tim, why don't you run for senator? Why don't you run, Diana? Why don't you just run for senator or whatever, or John Rose? Why don't you run for senator? And that's the more lucrative position. So why don't you go and do that? Like that's why I just don't quite understand like kind of what's going on there. I mean, I've always said that I think McCormick probably should run for governor. I think he would easily win. Um, but that's just interesting. Like I said, like just that whole good old boy. It almost like when I'm looking at him, like that just seems like what it is. It's just everybody's playing musical chairs in the top Tennessee seats.
Oh yeah.
But see, I don't know. Like you know this stuff more than me, and you know where the divisions are and everything like that. And I just don't. I don't ever get. I don't really quite understand how that's going to go in Tennessee. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I saw that town hall and I was like, holy shit! Like I knew people were mad, um, but I was like, I didn't think anybody was mad. Like, and I didn't think any people were that mad, because it's like nothing's really happened, and maybe it's because I don't, yeah, I'm not on Medicaid or any of that kind of shit, and I don't work for the government. But I was just like, it's like, damn, like that's just like the amount of people showing up. I was like, I told one of the girls I know in the Democratic Party, I was like, it's like if you're not down here giving out fucking flyers to join the Fulton County Democratic Party or DPG or any of this other kind of stuff, I was like, you're a fucking idiot. because I'm like, it seems like the sentiment's there, and I don't think, I mean, people, it's starting to make me think that okay, maybe this is going to be an '06 situation. What do you think about that?
Like in what way?
Where so like Bush lost the House in '06. He might have kept the Senate, but he lost the House, and then it kind of like slowly snowballed its way to where Obama wins in '08 and gets a trifecta. Do you think something like that's going to happen, or do you think that you know the damage isn't done enough yet?
Damage hasn't been done enough yet.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's not.
And you think like the tax cuts and stuff like that would be kind of what puts it over the edge?
Probably, yeah.
Mm. But so what? See, this is what I think about it. I'm just like, if they just rinse and repeated what they did in 2017, I'm like, that's like, to me, I'm like, that'd be the way to go,
I
right? And
agree.
then maybe just cut back on certain things. But I'm like, that's the way to go. But it seems like they're like trying to push it. They're trying to push it even further. And I'm like, that's just, I don't see that. But honestly, one thing I'll say about McCormick is he's kind of like, hey, look, like we're like he's ready to take the pain, and he's got plenty of money, but it's like he's ready to feel the pain and feel the burn to get some of this stuff done. And that almost kind of makes me think about Republicans. I think they actually kind of have the will to enact some of these policies, even down on the state level. Like I think Republicans would be more willing to kind of push some of these policies, because they honestly believe that it's probably the best way to go, even if they lose a re-election or something. Um, but I mean, what do you think? Do you think the appetite is there to kind of, I guess, like kind of do you think the appetite is almost to kind of like go blindly into the fire, or do you think that maybe middle of this year you're gonna start seeing some Republicans be like whoa 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 and all this other kind of stuff,
Going blindly into the fire will help these.
like
That'll
like
be how it
people just being like
starts.
hey, like we gotta approve this reconciliation bill, and Trump's tax
Mm-hmm.
cuts or whatever. Like, do
Mm-hmm.
you think they're just gonna be like, all right, cool, we're gonna do it, and we'll deal with the consequences later, or do you think they're gonna beat some people in a few months that be like, hey, I think we shouldn't do this.
You'll have a very very small like number of people that are like that'll be like a little bit more skeptical, but I think most people are going to be so on board with Trump trying to get their next political moves that it'll be blindly into the fire until it's over.
So this is one thing that I've been thinking about is what comes after Trump. Do you think the Republican Party in its current form will exist in 2028?
Yeah, I think so. I think you'll get like a JD Vance in there, and then
But that's almost like shifting it a little bit more to the left. Like I feel like if JD does what he actually would do, that's going to shift it more towards kind of the center.
it might. I don't know.
But in some ways, right? Like labor unions and all this other kind of stuff, and minimum wage and whatnot. But that's always what I kind of think is like I could see what you're talking about, where it's like, hey, I need to be on Trump's good side because I'm going to run for Senate in 2026, and then I'm good till through the end of the Trump decade. But I'm like, hey, if I got to run in 2028, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I don't really know how I'd position myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Because then you'd be waiting too late then.
well, and it's like, okay, like, if he really does shit the bed in 2026, is it really worth it? Um, is it really worth it to kind of, stick with him? And that's what I was like saying. I was like, hey, if shit starts kind of getting bad middle of this year, are you gonna see some people skeptical? And you know these people more than I do. Who would be the ones to kind of speak out a little bit towards Trump? Like, is there anyone specific that you're like, yeah, he'll probably be someone who does something?
I mean Romney. Um,
Well, but I mean, people who are still in office, not
yeah.
deadbeats from God knows how long.
Um, I don't know. As of right now, I don't know. Um, it's a tough question. Depends. I'd have to see. Because I would have said McConnell, but he's done. Um,
Well, I was gonna say that's another one. Is he's out, so
yeah,
like,
he's already announced retirement. Yeah,
and that's why I'm
thank
like, who
thank
knows?
fucking God too.
Well, honestly, dude, I was sitting there and I was like, if I was a Democrat, I'd be like, I hope he dies tomorrow, because then Andy Bashir can appoint somebody.
Fuck
I
yeah,
think that's how they would do it. Is he could appoint somebody and then he can kind of take over the reins a little bit.
exactly.
But I mean, who knows with that guy? I mean, I have got no fucking clue with what Mitch McConnell's going to do. Um,
I don't either.
so do you think one thing that was also kind of getting brought up a little bit was with people with RFK and those kind of people at the town hall. Do you think that um his appointees are going to impact, say, elections in 2026? Do you think people are going to run on,
Yes.
anti RFK or whoever?
For Democratic seats, yes.
What about for Republicans?
No.
So you don't think any Republicans are going to go against the
No.
appointees?
No.
Which
No. No.
appointees on the which appointees would you say Republicans are going to go or Democrats are going to go after? You think it's just going to be the typical Tulsi,
Yeah, it'll be the typicals.
RFK, those kind of
It'll be
people?
Tulsi, RFK, Christy Nome. I mean,
So
it'll be
Why Christy Nome? Like what about her? Is it just because of Homeland or what?
yeah, Homeland.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know, man. All I know is if I was running in a swing district in 2026, I was like, this would be a good year to do it. That's how I walked out of that thing, thinking and feeling. Um, and it doesn't breathe hope into any conservatives, but I guess we'll see. See what happens. Um,
Yes, sir.
it kind of made me a little bit excited for Ossoff in Georgia because I was like, hey, like if I'm him, like I'd be throwing everything I got at Trump, to hold on to that seat.
Hell, yes, I would.
So, well, that's what I wanted to talk about, dude. Like like I said, like I've never walked out of a town hall and was like, holy shit, that like I said, I thought he presented himself well, did decent, but I walked out of that and was like, holy shit, this guy, he he took some blows. And I've never walked out of there thinking, okay, he was ever in danger, not in danger, but he never, his poll numbers never had gone down, right?
Yeah.
And I walked out of that and I was like, holy shit. And I think McCormick is probably one of the better ones. And I was like, if he's doing that, God help some of these other Republicans. Um, so you called it. Congrats.
I know, dude. Dude. The campaign and political side of things. I'm typically pretty on point with it. We
Yeah.
actually are doing an event for Burchett here in March. We got the Cotton Eye Joe,
Oh
dude.
yeah, you were telling me about that. You're telling me about
Dude,
that.
we're gonna be at the Cotton Eye fucking Joe, baby, dude. I'm still mad that we're not doing it at night because I really wanted to like just have like an open crowd, like let the rednecks come in and everything. But
Yeah.
and Burchett would have leaned into it. But no, we're doing it like midday.
So I think I might have asked you this. If Burchett moves up, who's taking his spot? I
If
think you
he
told me
went
was
to
it Andy?
if he
Andy?
if he went to Senate,
If he went anywhere, if he left his seat.
I don't think he does plans on it anytime soon. But if he was to go, um, I would say we're talking about his congressional seat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like Zachary would run for it.
That's who it was.
I love Jason Zachary. Although he is a
Yep.
dangerous individual, I love Jason Zachary.
What do you mean by dangerous?
It's just he has enough contacts that he can get stuff done, and like nobody really knows it's him.
Mm. So he kind of does a lot behind the scenes.
Just yeah, like he'll send like a text message out. Next thing you know, something happens, and it's like holy shit.
Yeah. Well, we'll be on the lookout. I'm curious to see. Especially around what they'll start primaries start what the end of this year
Um,
or
you'll see
primary season.
the initial heavy campaign stuff will start at the end of this year, and then starting next year, it'll be full blown campaign season
Yeah.
all through next year, which sucks for me, but whatever.
I was gonna say, so this is like downtime for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, this year is going to be like building the bench up for me. It's like just getting these communities kind of in check, trying to get these college campuses across the state going, and then that way I just have enough volunteer efforts to help make some marginal differences, and then kind of seeing how the campaigns are gonna fall. Try to figure out who the candidates that we need to put in place are going to be, and such things.
Yeah.
Which I'm having a hard time right now because, dude, my area is like so hard to recruit candidates for because you get in these rural parts, like, you get outside of Knoxville, it's like you get to like, especially up in Northeast Tennessee, like you get to like Unicoi County and like Carter County. It's like, dude, it's like on the Virginia, North Carolina line. It's like, dude, this is, I'm like, I don't know who lives up here that would be a political, dog.
Well, so that's what I was gonna ask you. So like, what are you recruiting for? Just like school board or
No, we're talking about just for state reps and state
really?
senate. Um, it's just really hard because you typically got to find someone that's got a decent net worth, conservatives that align with our values. So I mean, you got to check three boxes, like three whole boxes, which is aligned with the policies that we care about in our priority agendas. Then you got to get that person has to be like obviously conservative. Then they have to like have a decent net worth because money don't just grow on trees and you don't just run for office and win it. Um, so it's a
So, so let's say you found someone, what are the chances that they would win?
well, the only thing I can do is I can provide a marginal contribution. I can get some doors and some phone calls done for them, and some small stuff, like some marketing for them. But like they have to take on the bulk of their campaign, so it depends on who they're going against. Like if you're going against an incumbent, that's like everybody knows them, pretty hard competition. But I'd say you get a good 30-40% chance of winning it. Low turnout votes in these 2 year elections, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're
I was
looking
gonna
at
say, especially in those areas. I mean, it's like
oh,
if,
dude, in
like you said,
2020.
if they don't know you, then like if like yeah, you're your state rep, but it's like if they don't know you, like you could easily take them down.
And in 2026, I would say, I mean, dude, you're talking, dude, those elections, man, dude, if 1,100 votes wins an election in any of those
Yeah.
areas, I mean, it's not, which is horrendous, like the fact that that's all that would win it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll leave it here. Let's see what happens, and like I said, I'm curious how these just what the pressure is on. I mean, I'm sad we don't do these town halls enough because I'm like, I think it really kind of gives you a glimpse into, kind of what the pressure and what the vibes are going into a congressional session. So I'm curious, and we'll see what happens. And I know you're going to be involved in it. I'm going to be involved here in Georgia and some other places. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Just and I'd love to do another pod with you in Austin, either early this coming week or something. But
Yeah, I'm here in Atlanta this whole week. So
where
or
now are you when you say this whole week, are you talking about like all of next week?
yeah, like Monday through Friday, I'll be in I'll be
Nice. Well,
in Atlanta.
at
So
some point when
I'll
you
be free
get
in those
back,
weekends.
at some point when you get back, I'd love to do another in-person podcast
Yeah,
with you.
Yep.
Those are always fun to do. So we'll come up with that plan too. But yeah, looking forward
Yeah.
to it. I'm glad we got on here and got to talk about it. It's there's gonna be a crazy amount of stuff to see. Even in the most upcoming stuff, it's gonna be interesting to see though.
Yep. I agree.
Alrighty, man. I'm
All
gonna go
right,
ahead
let's
and
leave it
stop
there.
it here. We'll stop here.